So, man, so we got to talk. We got to talk about something that has been on my mind a lot recently. Is the idea of procrastination. How many of us right now, including myself, have procrastinated? I mean, everybody at some point of their life decides, you know what, I'm not going to do this thing right now, and then they push things off, and then they just leave, and then it's like almost like a weight that they carry. It's like an extra weight that they carry, more baggage that they carry with them. And eventually you get to a point where you can't even move forward because the weight has become so heavy that you can't even move forward. You can't move forward at all. This has happened to me recently. I'm going to be graduating soon. And so I've kind of slacked off. I've kind of procrastinated. I've procrastinated on the things that I'm doing, on things for college, on things for class, on things in general in my life, in my habits. And because of this, I started to notice that I started to fall. I couldn't even be present in the moment because like a lot of the times what people don't talk about when it comes to procrastination is it's not even just the fact that you're not completing work, but it's the idea that because you've accumulated so much baggage from this procrastination, you can't even enjoy this present moment. And there'll be times where I'm overthinking about an assignment that I didn't do and I'm outside walking. Like I can't even enjoy like the trees and like the air outside. Imagine that. And I'm sure you guys know that whenever you actually complete this work, whenever you actually just sit down and just say, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna go do it. You feel really good, don't you? Don't lie to yourself. You feel really good knowing the fact that, you know what, I get to go to sleep and not have to worry about a damn thing. It feels really good, bro. I'll tell you this that I don't see enough people talk about when it comes to self improvement is that, self improvement is gonna get you the habits, it's gonna get you the traits, it's gonna get you like it's going to get you the momentum, is what I should say. But a lot of the times we don't actually look at like there's been many people who've spoken about this before, but we don't look at the self healing part. We don't actually look at the fixing, not even fixing. I don't even think fixing is the right word, but embracing the parts of you that you push off. So I mean, like for instance, procrastination comes from the fear. Comes from fear. Like literally, just comes from fear. Like for instance, I procrastinated on sending out a letter of recommendation, not because I didn't have teachers, but because I was too afraid of what they would say. And I was afraid, I was procrastinating on going and cleaning my car because I thought it was going to look stupid. Like, it's just like, it's stuff like that. And, a lot of the times we always try to ignore these parts of our mind. We try to ignore these. We try to ignore these things that make us go into procrastination, but we don't understand like why. Because it's almost like consistently like cutting off the bad parts of a tree just for them to grow back. Like you're not looking at the root cause. Because you'll find a lot of the times that the reason why you feel this way, the reason why you procrastinate, the reason why you're basically holding yourself back is because something is like as bad as of intent as it seems that like, oh my god, I'm holding myself back. You don't understand the fact that your mind, your body, it's doing this because it wants to protect you in some fucking way. It wants to protect you. Like for instance, let's say you procrastinate on, I don't know, approaching that girl. Maybe previously before you went to go talk to a girl and she thought you was weird. She just thought you were weird. And because of that, your brain tries to protect you and it tries to, okay, we should not go to approach her because this thing, or maybe you didn't go apply for this one job because you didn't feel, because maybe you just don't feel adequate enough for it. Whatever it is, you'll find a lot of the times that if you really just dig down, and I mean, I tell you guys, like, go journal. If you dig deep enough, you'll start to understand that, like, in every bad thing, like every bad habit that's in your life, there's a good intent behind it. You may not agree with the intent. You may be thinking, like, when you really look at the intent, you're like, what the fuck? Like, okay. Like, really? I mean, I don't need to worry about that kind of thing. But you don't understand, like, how your subconscious mind works. Your subconscious mind just wants to protect you, it just wants to survive. And a lot of the experiences that you've been through, a lot of the brainwashing that you've been exposed to, this leaves you with kind of like a messed up mind.
But here's the problem that I see so many people make, and this is the problem that I made for so many damn years, is that we believe that we're broken. We believe that we're incomplete, that we're fragile, that there's something wrong with us. But if you dig deep enough, like if you actually like take what I'm saying, you dig deep enough and you actually sit down and journal and just have a conversation with yourself. And like I know like in this modern day culture, like that scene is fucking weird, like talking to yourself. But bro, like you're the only person that you are guaranteed to have to spend the rest of your life with. So why is it weird to sit down and just have a conversation with yourself? Because, you have family, you have friends, you might have partners, but ultimately at the end of the day, the person who is with you from the day you're born to the day you die is yourself. So why not have a good relationship with yourself? Because you'll find that once you actually start, because like here it's crazy thing is that like you believe that you need like these relationships with these people and with you need like all these friendships and like all this shit. And then you start to realize more is that like once you have these things, you really don't care about them as much as you think you did, and you still feel lonely. And really, it's whenever you actually just improve your relationship with yourself. That's whenever it actually gets better. So I'll tell you guys this is that the thing that's holding you back, more likely than not, the thing that's, you always thinking to yourself like, oh, one day I'm going to complete all these things. Like, you almost feel like you're in an endless loop of I'm going to do this. And then you change and then like, just, it's all fucked up. You feel like everything you're doing right now is fucked up is the best way I can describe it. If you're in this position, I recommend that you just sit down and have a talk with yourself, man. Because I will tell you that 99% of the problems that you have is just coming from yourself. It's not from other people. It's from yourself. It's going to feel like it's from other people, but that's just because you're projecting your problems onto other people. You're going to project it on the job you have. You're going to project it on your family, whatever it is. You find that majority of your problems are just self-induced. And that's a tough pill to swallow. The fact that, all these problems that you have in your life that you would constantly point the finger at. It's not other people's fault. It's just you. So I want to leave you guys off with this is if you're somebody who kind of relates to the things that I've been saying, what I really recommend you do is get a notebook, get a journal, or if you're at that level of comfort, or maybe that's more comfortable for you, just sit down and like have a mental conversation with yourself. I like to do it in a journal just because I enjoy writing things down. But just sit down and like look at that part of you that you always try to push away, that you always try to ignore. And look at this part of you and then think to yourself like why is this even a part of me to begin with? Where did this come from? Because this is actually how you decode and how you actually get rid of it. And you know what? Maybe once you really look at it, maybe you necessarily don't have to get rid of it. But I won't lie to you guys that there is some parts of you that ultimately you will have to kill. If you seriously are as serious as you say you are about improving, about getting better, about just enjoying your life more, then there's ultimately going to be that one part of you that you're going to have to kill. And I mean kill, like destroy, because that part of you cannot come with you. You have to let go of that baggage. It's just extra weight that's dragging you around. And like I said, it may be the case where maybe you found out like this thing that's holding you back. And maybe you figure out like maybe it's not as bad as I thought it was. This is how people do shadow work. They embrace this part of them and they start to see like how can I actually use this in my day-to-day life. But that's all I have for you boys. Thanks for watching.